Okay, Ray. Give me one eye outside. Ray!
Nice shooting, Tex.
Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. And this week, we're heading to Dustmorn Standard to play some Ghost Vacuum Combo. And I hear you thinking, wait a minute, Ghost Vacuum, isn't that graveyard hate enchantment that you play to stop delirium or your opponent's reanimation? Yes, it is that same card, but we're not playing it for that reason. We're playing this as a combo piece thanks to its second ability. So Ghost Vacuum, 1 mana artifact, we can tap it to exile any card from any graveyard, and then for 6 mana, we can tap and sack it, and each creature that we exiled with it comes into play under our control as a 1/1 flying spirit in addition to its other types, only do it as a sorcery. So the goal of our deck is not to use this as a graveyard hate spell, although that is an upside that we can do that if we need to, but this is in our deck to be a combo piece. We are trying to get a specific set of cards exiled to Ghost Vacuum, so when we spit them all back out of the vacuum, we win the game on the spot. So how do we do this? Well, first, we need to fill the graveyard to get things into our graveyard to exile with Ghost Vacuum. So we got Cash Grab, we got Say Its Name to stock the graveyard. As far as the combo itself, the most important combo piece, and I should say in some sense, any creature is a good thing to get under the Spirit Vacuum because they're all going to come back as 1/1, so we don't really care. But the combo itself, key card number 1, Enduring Courage. So Enduring Courage makes it so whenever another creature enters, it gets +2/+0 and hasten till end of turn. So we can only activate Ghost Vacuum as a sorcery. If we don't have Enduring Courage, we just make a bunch of 1/1s and then our opponent can Pyroclasm or something. If we have Enduring Courage though, all of our other creatures are going to come into play +2/+0 and hasten till end of turn, which makes it pretty easy to kill our opponent on the spot when we activate the Ghost Vacuum. So to go along with Enduring Courage are 2 big winners, Overlord of the Boiler Biggles and Omnivorous Flytrap. So Boiler Biggles, this one's absurd with Enduring Courage. So Boiler Biggles, when it enters, 4 damage. When it attacks, 4 damage. So if we have it under a Ghost Vacuum with an Enduring Courage, every copy of Overlord of the Boiler Biggles represents 11 damage. We get 4 when it comes into play, 4 more when it attacks with haste, and then it's a 3/1 thanks to Enduring Courage. So 2 of those, plus an Enduring Courage under a Ghost Vacuum, win the game on the spot from 20 damage. We also have Omnivorous Flytrap, which is not as obvious, but our deck's really good at filling the graveyard. We can get Delirium, we can even get Mega Delirium of 6 card types, and that's when this card becomes ridiculous. So even though it's going to be a 1/1 with the Ghost Vacuum, it's going to put counters on things. So with Delirium, we get to put 2 counters on things, so that adds more power that we can get in damage. The big payoff, though, is if we have 6 or more card types in the graveyard, we put the counters on things, and then we get to double them. So that's what we really want to do. If we can have a Flytrap under the Ghost Vacuum, and we do the Enduring Courage thing, and we have the Mega Delirium, we can put Flytrap into play. We put 2 counters on things, and then double them. Then we attack with the Flytrap. We put 2 more counters on things, and then double them again. We deal a ridiculous amount of damage out of nowhere. It's kind of like an Overlord of the Boiler Biggles, but it needs us to have Delirium or Mega Delirium to really be good. The rest of our creatures, Trumpeting Carnosaur, just kind of ridiculous with Ghost Vacuum. Even though it's a 1/1, we get to discover 5, put something massive into play. Overlord of the Hauntwoods, it does some ramping. It ramps us into our Ghost Vacuum as its main purpose, but it's fine to put into play with Ghost Vacuum. And then 1 Tranquil Throwback just as kind of a catch-all. Otherwise, Torch the Tower, Brothers Sedan to deal with our opponent's creatures, a bunch of lands in the sideboard, some artifact hate, some enchantment hate, a bunch of removal. Tranquil Throwback is a catch-all, Obstinate Baloth for the discard decks. And that is Ghost Vacuum Combo for Standard. That's our Against the Odds deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see if we can actually win with a single Ghost Vacuum activation. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. It is time to vacuum up some ghosts. We're playing some Ghost Vacuum Combo in Standard, and this hand, hopefully we hit our lands. We do have the Surveil land. I mean, this hand is obviously super strong once we get to 4 mana. Hopefully the Brotherhood Zen's good. No Ghost Vacuum, but a bunch of Overlords. Enduring Courage is interesting. It's an integral piece of the combo, but casting it for 4 mana, little hit or miss. Sometimes it can be a bit slow. Oh man, I want that Overlord, but We need lands. We need lands. Opponent. I'm going to start with the Fabled Passage. Well, okay. Let's vacuum some ghosts. I mean, the funny thing is, so Ghost Vacuum, it looks like a hate card, but it's not a hate card in our deck. This is the deck. We are a Ghost Vacuum deck. That is the entire point of this deck, is to try to set up a combo kill with Ghost Vacuum. Opponent land and passes. Well, that means we aggressively exile our best creatures from the graveyard to Ghost Vacuum, because, oh yes, that is a really nice draw. All right. One more land. Actually, we'll take 3 more lands, but one more land to start. About it. Schwamp. Preacher of the Schism. Blump, bump, blump, bump, bump. Well, let's exile the Fabled Passage. Doesn't really do anything, but might as well. Well, okay, say its name. Hopefully hits a land drop. All right, well, we will take the land. So we don't have any synergies for say its name. It's just purely filling the graveyard, finding lands. No alternate opponent. Gonna get in with a Preacher. Double triggers, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, we can kill it with Boiler Biggles next turn, so that's good. Opponent going to duress. Well, that's fine. Thankfully, most of our removal actually is on a creature in this deck. Opponent gonna take the Brotherhood End, which wasn't doing a ton anyway. Well, let's keep on exiling. I don't know, they could have, like, Delirium Center. There's no reason to not exile random stuff if there's not a creature to exile. Well, we gotta impend this Boiler Biggles. It'd be nice to be able to wait another turn, but I don't think we can let this Preacher keep drawing cards. Like, Withering Torn. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, that is... we killed the Preacher, and it's Boiler Biggles in the graveyard for Ghost Vacuum. So the combo, Enduring Courage... for haste, preferably some Boiler Biggles, and maybe the weird Delirium Plant. Those are our best things to get under the Ghost Vacuum. Opponent's going to do some Geological Uprising. Spins into a Sheoldred's Edict, sure. I mean, we're 1 mana away. I think we need to play an Enduring Courage first. Let's take the Preacher. We're not Ghost Vacuuming this turn anyway, so there's the land. We really want Enduring Courage for haste. Like, if we get the haste with Enduring Courage, we probably just win with Ghost Vacuum. Oh, how do we do this? Yeah, let's just get down the Boiler Biggles, make our opponent kill it. Get rid of the Geological Appraiser. This will be something else that I assume they're going to kill, and then we can get under the Ghost Vacuum. I don't know if our opponent has an answer to Ghost Vacuum in their main deck. Wow, they're going to... Oh? They're not killing the Boiler Biggles, okay. Instead, opponent spins it to win a Geological Appraiser into Infamous Cruel Claw. I mean, that's fine, because we can just Biggles it. Opponent. Passing. Well, Ghost Vacuum. Let's eat a Overlord. Oh, all we need's the haste. Well, let's get in with the Overlord. Snipe the Cruel Claw. That probably should not live. Opponent. Wow, takes it. Okay, well, let's play the Enduring Courage. And... I think we win the game next turn, even through removal here, unless our opponent can kill the Ghost Vacuum. I think we're about to see the combo opponent. Gonna kill our stuff. Sure, Enduring Courage. Gonna come back. That's perfectly fine. Wow, not gonna Edict? You got a Sheoldred's Edict, right? You can't just let us keep Bigglesing you. Let's torch the tower. Geological Appraiser. We're also still at 16, which is a pretty healthy life total. Opponent hits us down to 16. You got a Sheoldred's Edict, right? Opponent just is... I can't believe they're trying to just play through this Boiler Biggles when we know they have an Edict in hand. All right, they hit an Edict anyway. So opponent, they have managed to kill the Boiler Biggles finally, which is fine because now he Ghost Vacuum it, and now it's combo time. Now it is combo time. So 6 mana, a very full Ghost Vacuum. Sack it, and here comes the dorks. Overlord, Preacher of the Schism, double Boiler Biggles, all +2/+0, all haste, and a bonus gives it up, and that's the idea of the deck. That is the goal of the deck. I feel like Ghost Vacuum might actually be busted. We've never seen a card like this before. I don't think. Like, is there another similar card that's graveyard hate that also can just win you the game? We'll do a little trimming. Bring in stuff that can deal with bigger creatures. We're not going to get, like, Sheoldreded or whatever. I guess cut it frill back, run it like that. Well, game 1 went pretty well. Not bad at all. Yeah, Ghost Vacuum, I actually kind of love this card. Like, the graveyard hate's reasonable. People play Delirium, people play Reanimator, so sometimes it's a hate card. But in our deck, it's also just, I win the game, basically. We'll see if it gets harder after sideboarding. Like, in theory, one of the weird quirks of our current standard is decks are very prepared for enchantments, not exactly as prepared for artifacts. Because artifacts just aren't nearly as big of a threat as enchantments right now. Some cards hit both, so we still can pick up on like some fringe sideboard hate, but no one's really like setting out to hate out artifacts at this point in Standard, I don't think. And the Fabled Passage. This hand's fine. No Ghost Vacuum, but maybe we can find it with, well, I guess say its name can't actually find it, can it? Only creatures and lands. I mean, it's a fine fair hand, though. Overlord into Enduring Courage into our plant friend. I will say, I think I might be wrong about the plant. When I first saw it, I was like, it's a 2/4 if you don't have Delirium. Wow, there goes our Ghost Vacuum. We get a land. I was like, it's a 2/4. I don't know if it's that good, right? Because if you don't have Delirium, it's so bad. The thing is, if you do have Delirium, it's kind of insane. Like, if you have Delirium, it can be a 4/6 at a minimum for 3. And then once you start doubling counters and whatnot, the Preacher. Well, actually, we can Pain Land ourselves. Down, so at least our opponent doesn't get the token. Preacher, when it double triggers, is so good. Next turn we can, well, I don't know, Enduring Courage, I guess? I think plan A at the moment. And one of the other, yeah, that's a whiff. One of the other nice things about this deck is we can't just win by casting our stuff. Like, the Ghost Vacuum kills are what we're going for, but we're not above. Ooh. Binding Negotiations, to take the Enduring Courage. I'm surprised they did not take the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Our best friend Boiler Biggles is not a bad draw here. If we wait one more turn, we can play it as a creature, but I don't think we can let the Preacher. We'd rather kill the Preacher than have a creature. That's what I was trying to say. Opponent, gonna let the Preacher die. Well, opponent gonna do a little surveilling with the Raucous Theater. Can we wait on the Carnosaur and just Enduring Courage? Let's do it. Carnosaur with haste seems sweet. Well, get down the Enduring Courage, and let's just put Cavern on, I guess, Avatar. It's really, so if you're Caverning with this deck, Avatar or Horror is the 2 Overlords. And then we also have 2 Dinosaurs, right? So that's kind of also a good name. But it really depends on your hand. There's not any one creature type to name. But usually number 1 is make the Overlords uncounterable. Not that it really matters in this matchup anyway. Well, opponent, looking at a bunch of enchantments, gonna binding. Oh, I guess that's the downside of waiting on the Carnosaur. Well, let's see how good these plants are. We do have Delirium. We don't have Mega Delirium. That's where the plants are really crazy, is when you have 6 card types and they double the counters. But this is still gonna be a turn. So Fly Trap with haste, pump it with Enduring Courage, put some counters on it, and then Fly Trap, haste. See, this is why I think this card might actually be good. When you have Delirium, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of, like, our opponent was going to be almost just dead right there to 2 Fly Traps. So haste it up, grow it, go to combat, hit ya, get a few more counters, and yeah, that is a 8/8 with haste, smashing our opponent. I guess we might as well play this Cavern. Our opponent knows about it. We'll put on Glimmer. So Glimmer covers Enduring Courage, and I guess Enduring Courage about it. Land on Mountain. Geological Appraiser into, well, opponent did have some enchantment hate. Withering Torment. Got to take down the Fly Trap, though, which means, man, we're a draw away. Wow. Okay. I don't think we're going to play the second Overlord. The only way I could see this going wrong is our opponent having some sort of sweeper. Like, we're getting our Overlord off in pen, so we have lethal this turn anyway. We didn't have lethal even if we played the Overlord. Opponent duresses and whiffs. And that should do it. All we gotta do is attack. And game 1, we saw the Ghost Vacuum. Game 2, we just got to see the power of the plants and the Overlords. Trigger, opponent down to 5 and down to dead. And that is how you Ghost Vacuum. This hand, we got a Ghost Vacuum and a way to fill the graveyard and a Boiler Beagle. I'm pretty sure another Enduring Courage. Well, let's get down the Ghost Vacuum. Is our opponent mono red or Gruul? One thing I will say about Ghost Vacuum is Intrepid Paleontologist. Okay. One thing I will say about Ghost Vacuum is it is a little bit slow against like the Gruul Prowess deck. Just not impactful enough. So we usually have to sideboard it out. Really good against mid-range control. Even like slower aggro. But then most aggressive decks. Ooh, Fear of Missing Out. Wait, are they Delirium deck? We might actually get value out of this. Discard something big, opponent. Discard a big creature, please. Yeah, torch the tower. Well, we can just sweep here, which is pretty good. What is our opponent's deck? Fear of Missing Out makes me think Delirium, but Intrepid Paleontologist makes me think Dinosaurs. Well, Cavern on Avatar, and put an end to this brotherhood. Sweep away the board. Also get some creatures in the graveyard. Not great creatures. Although Fear of Missing Out, I considered Fear of Missing Out in this deck. Ooh, oh, it's a ramp deck. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Oh. This is probably like the Smuggler's Surprise deck. I see. I see what's happening. Well, that's a little concerning. If our opponent has something big, we're kind of far behind. Let's get out an Enduring Courage here. Hopefully just draw a land and can play Overlord into Overlord over the next couple turns. Oh, boy. So one thing about being Gruul is we're not very good at dealing with creatures that are more than 4 toughness. I mean, we can just deal with them with combat, but like Calamity is an issue because we do not have a card that's just like kill Calamity, opponent gets in. Saddles, double frogs, double lands, and I guess we can block a frog, but we're up to 14 and this Calamity is sticking and we don't have a way to kill it. Which means there is a decent chance we are dead next turn. All we can really do is play the Overlord, right? Run out the Overlord of the Hauntwoods. It is big enough to block Calamity. Actually, maybe we just race. We have to hope that our opponent has nothing in hand. Like, if they have something big to Calamity, we're going to die anyway. If they don't have something big to Calamity, this hasty Boiler Biggles might let us just steal the win. So we got to hope our opponent just doesn't have a big creature in hand. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because they can hit us for like, oh. Well, the Boiler Biggles giveth and the Boiler Biggles taketh away. Yeah, Boiler Biggles Calamity seems decent. That seems decent. Well, we can bring in Scorching Shot, I guess. Run it like that. Well, that did not go good. Our opponent might just be playing bigger things than we can handle in this one. Wizards does probably not get enough credit for how well Standard has went lately. I don't think they get enough credit for it. Yes, there is always going to be, questionable things like Red Ley Line, but in general, when you're not dying on turn 2, Standard's pretty awesome. Yeah, we'll play. Oh, man. So many green Overlords, but so few lands. We're going to put the Fly Trap to the bottom. We got the Ghost Vacuum. Our opponent does have some juicy Ghost Vacuum targets. I'm just nervous that we do not have a good way to not die to Calamity. Like, if our opponent just does Calamity stuff, I don't really know what we do about that. Opponent going to start in the Surveillance. Surveils away a forest. Haha. No Altanicking for you, opponent. Forest exiled. Let's play the Verge. Say its name. Say its name. Snag the Overlord. Well, this hand's not bad. Now we can Impending Green Overlord next turn. And then if we have, I guess one of the ways to minimize Calamity's impact is by keeping creatures that can saddle Calamity off the battlefield. That might be more realistic than killing the Calamity itself for our deck. Unfortunately, we don't have anything really worth exiling from our graveyard. Well, let's play the Forest and do a little Impending with Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Get an Everywhere land and pass the turn. I mean, we're ahead on mana. That's good. Do they have the silly frog? Oh, Clifftop Lookout. Yep. Clifftop Lookout's so good. It's so good. I really love this formatting of ramp, especially in Commander. Well, we're going to wait, I think, on the boy. Ooh, Cash Grab. We will keep Cash Grab. You know what? I think we got to get rid of this frog. Let's get rid of the frog. Start working towards Unimpending. Hopefully find something with this Cash Grab for next turn. The one thing about these Impending cards is the time is kind of a cost, right? The thing is, you get so much value, especially with, like, the green one. You get so much value out of its ETB that it doesn't really matter. Like, ooh. Oh, no. Oh, no, not the Ghost Vacuum. Not the Ghost. That's... No. Come on. Kill a Boiler Biggle. Kill it. Kill a Hauntwood. Anything but the Ghost Vacuum. Does our opponent know how good Ghost Vacuum is? Do they know that we're a Ghost Vacuum combo deck? Opponent gets the green Overlord. They probably should have also, unless they're playing something for 1 mana. Oh. Oh, no! Alright, exile the frog. Oh, well, there goes the Ghost Vacuum. If there is a downside to our Ghost Vacuum plan, it can be killed. Well, I guess we're taking a Fly Trap, which is actually going to be huge. We have Mega Delirium. So not only do we get the counters, we get to double those counters. And let's just play the Forest past the turn. So we get Red Overlord in 2 turns. This Fly Trap, like we were saying about our deck, I imagine our opponent's deck is probably not that great at dealing with a 6/8. Filgri Silex, okay. I mean, that can deal with it in several turns, but opponent pass it. Ooh, boy. Old Trumpetier. The question is, do we cast it? We could save it for removal. Like, if they have Calamity, we could kill the kill the Frillback to keep our opponent from saddling. How do we pass up, though? 7/6. Trampler. Discover 5. Well, all right. Say its name. Say its name. Into a Hauntwoods. Get in with the plant. Wait, are we going to win this? I mean, I guess there's still a world where opponent just smugglers surprises into something huge. But I feel like we're kind of winning this now. Double the counters. This is 2 turds. This is 2 turds. And it's a 3-mana 12/14 that also grew the Carnosaur. Yeah, I take... What? Did they just correct their Filgri Silex on 0? Maybe they wanted an artifact in the graveyard for Delirium. Yeah, that is a odd choice. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Itali. Into... No! Oh, my... Wow. Wow, we're dead. Come on. Well, I guess we're not literally dead, but I don't know if we can win from here. So opponent, Itali's into Calamity plus Carnosaur, which is incredibly unfortunate. Saddles up with the Carnosaur. Hits an Overlord of the Hauntwoods. This might be the greatest. And a Brother Sedan. Well, I guess that doesn't do that much. This might be the best Itali spin I've seen in a long time. They, like, spun into a combo. They can't crew the Calamity or saddle the Calamity with Itali either because it's legendary. Is there any way we can't win, right? Our opponent can just block through this. Like, we can put the counters on the... Yes, they're at 20. We can attack for a lot, but they can just block and then kill us. And we can't not attack. I mean, I guess we could try to stay back, but then they just flip the tally. And we lose to the big infector. Opponent gonna block. 3 turns. 24-26. Well, hit you to 7 and scoop it up. Ghost Vacuum. Little Rampant. Carnosaur can be a removal spell. Golgari. Ooh, double Ghost Vacuum. All right. Well, we are full on Ghost Busting. Ghost Vacuum. Go. I will admit, I have never actually seen original Ghostbusters. Never seen it. I don't even know if it's worth... Let me know in the comments. Do I need to watch that? You know me, when it comes to pop culture stuff, even pop culture stuff from 40 years ago, I probably don't know it. Is OG Ghostbusters actually worth watching? I've not seen new Ghostbusters either. I've never seen any Ghostbusters. Found it. I imagine you take the Carnosaur, but I don't know. Maybe there's a world I want to take the Overlord. Huh. Fly Trap, eh? I was not expecting that. I would have put Fly Trap... Well, we don't know our opponent's hand, so they have more information than we do. In the dark, though, I would have ranked that as, like, the 3rd card. Probably ahead of the 2nd Ghost Vacuum, but I think Carnosaur and Green Overlord I would have put ahead of that. Bound it. Land. And... Oh, Glissa. Well, they definitely should have taken the Carnosaur, although we did draw another one. Well, now we need to Carnosaur the Glissa, because Glissa seems like an issue. We have a lot of big creatures, but those big creatures are not good at blocking Glissa. Opponent. Oh, another bat. All right. Yeah. So we could Carnosaur the bat, take the Glissa hit. I think we just got to kill the Glissa, though. We got to kill the Glissa, and then hope eventually we find a way to kill the bat. Plus, this does give us a Glissa we can exile from the graveyard, and a Carnosaur we can exile from the graveyard. One of the weird things about having 2 Ghost Vacuums is we do want to kind of keep the goodies under 1 if we can. So I think we're probably better off waiting and exiling the Carnosaur to the Glissa Ghost Vacuum. I have never seen anyone play bat this way in my life. I've never seen it before. I've never seen anyone. Usually the default with bat is like you just always snap off the removal spell that can kill the bat. Like 90-something% of the time. That's what I do. That's what I see other people do. Our opponent, 2 bats, has not went for any of the removal. Innkeeper's Talent's annoying. They keep taking the other pieces, which is just, it's a technique I've never seen before. That like take the threats and leave the removal, because then the removal is going to kill the bats, and then we get back to threats. But I think maybe what's going on here, opponent grows a bat, gets and hits us, gain life. Maybe our opponent's problem is they don't have removal for our big threats. That would make sense. If our opponent just does not have removal in hand, and they're like, I just have to take these threats, because if they play a fly trap or something, I can't beat it. Well, unimpend. We're getting a decent little Ghost Vacuum build up here. Glissa and a Carnosaur so far. Opponent gonna play the creature land and Liliana. Okay, so much for the removal theory. Our opponent had a Liliana in hand, so they did. Maybe they just drew it. We don't really mind discarding too much because we're gonna be vacuum up them goes anyway. We're only at 4 mana. Let's pitch the Carnosaur. Kill the bat. Get back the Enduring Courage. I am scared of this Innkeeper's Talent. We could just get comboed. That is always a risk. Well, exile a bat with our worst Ghost Vacuum, and then get the Carnosaur. Actually, yeah, let's take Boiler Biggles. Take the Boiler Biggles with the good one. Bona hits us down to 12. Oh, tap land, eh? Well, Commercial District. I think we mill this say its name. We really want an untap land. We want an untap land so we can Ghost Vacuum next turn. Unimpend. Opponent's going to take up the Lily. We're going to discard the Enduring Courage, exile it to the good Ghost Vacuum, and then hopefully just combo. But that does require... Aclazats. That does require drawing a land here that is untapped. Opponent taking up Lily. Well, let us torch the Tower of the Bat. Get back to Fly Trap. Discard the Enduring Courage. All right, come on, untap land. Untap land, and I think we're okay. I guess we should have waited. Yeah, let's exile the bat, too, with the bad Ghost Vacuum. The broken Ghost Vacuum. Ugh. All right, I guess this is fine. I mean, we're still not dead, right? They can't ultimate the Liliana, so let's just Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Get a land. So we have 6 lands for next turn. We unimpend. Maybe we're good. Opponent. I mean, that's a pretty good Ghost Vacuum. The one Ghost Vacuum is in a pretty good spot. Opponent gonna fire up the Restless Cottage. Sure. Are we still going up with the Lily? Do we survive this Aclazats? Like, we're not dead to the Aclazats, but can we win through the Aclazats? We are going to have a sweet turn, though, and I don't think our opponent can stop it. So, opponent, trying to figure out what to exile. Going to go and say its name. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. They don't know that we don't have any alternate opponent. Aclazats makes us discard the Fly Trap. Oh, I think we have to block and kill the creature land. We risk getting too low on life if we don't. We don't want to be dead in one attack to the Aclazats. So we drop to 7. Opponent can take down the Lily, should they so choose. Yeah. All right, so there goes the Overlord. Well, all right, Ghost Vacuum. Do your thing. Is it enough? Opponent's up to 32. This is going to be sweet. Is it game-winningly sweet? So I think we take the Carnosaur under the good Ghost Vacuum. And then I guess we keep filling up. We might just Ghost Vacuum 2 turns in a row, actually. It might be good Ghost Vacuum into bad Ghost Vacuum, which bad Ghost Vacuum is now getting better. Well, cash grab. All right, here we go. Ghost Vacuum, sack it. Here comes the Ghost. So we get a Glissa, a Carnosaur, an Enduring Courage, and 2 Carnosaurs and a Boiler Biggles. Get some triggers. So we get 8 damage from the Boiler Biggles. I don't know if this is quite enough. Bound, I'm gonna sack the food. We also get 2 Carnosaur spins. Opponent's up to 30. Can we deal 35? Oh my god, Fly Trap is huge. A Fly Trap with Delirium is huge. That's more damage. That's more, and it has haste. It has haste thanks to the Enduring Courage. And all right, more Enduring Courages. Is this lethal? Yeah, we're just short. So we gotta leave something back. We gotta leave something back to block this Batlord just in case. We do need to get in with the Glissa, because the Glissa can blow up this Innkeeper's Talent, which is kind of huge. All right, grow and grow. Hit your face. Down to 27. We were very close. We were very close to lethal. Well, blow up the Innkeeper's Talent with the Glissa. and smack you down to 7. Yeah, we were like so close to lethal there. I mean, we still should be good, right? The other thing about Ghost Vacuum that's worth noting, there's no finality counters, and it actually puts the literal creature back into play. So if this Enduring Courage dies, it's going to come back as an enchantment. If like a Carnosaur dies, we actually can just put it under the second Ghost Vacuum and do it again. It never actually exiles the creatures permanently. Assuming, well, it exiles them until we put them into play, but assuming we get them back into play, we can use them again. Well, let's sack a Enduring Courage, I think. Actually, let's sack the Boiler Biggles, because we can put it under this Ghost Vacuum. That's probably even better. Hasty Boiler Biggles is so much damage. It's so much damage. Opponent, Mosswood Red Knight. I mean, opponent's fighting the good fight, but opponent scoops it up. Cannot beat the Ghost Vacuum. Combo, not fully complete because our opponent gains so much life, but, I mean, that still shows the power, right? We dealt like 30 damage out of the blue with a single Ghost Vacuum. Balos seem funny against Lily. Maybe some more enchantment removal, something like that. Scorching Shot also seems good, just to kill like an Aklazotz or a Shieldred. And maybe trim some fly traps, say its name, around like that. Only 2 lands, but we got the cash grab, so we should be able to cachet our way into another one. And then we get to the Green Overlords, and then we're off to the raises. Bound at land. Oh, taking that cash grab could be a problem. If we don't hit a land, that could be bad news. I think that's what I would take. In the dark, without knowing our opponent's hand, of course, but I think I would just snap off the cash grab and be like, yeah, maybe they don't draw land for a couple turns. Opponent disagrees. Well, it worked out for they took the frill back. Our opponent is the strangest batter that I've ever seen. We have had some incredibly odd batting this match. I mean, I get, so Tranquil frill back. They're probably trying to defend a Innkeeper's Talent. So that makes more sense, especially since we don't have removal in hand. Well, wow, cash grab into literally 4 lands. I mean, we do want lands, but I'm also glad we're not drawing them 4 turns in a row. Gets and hits us. Gain some life. Up to 22. Well, we draw another throwback anyway. Well, let's impend a Overlord of the Hauntwoods down to 16. Get an everywhere land. Overlord's so good. Hauntwoods is so good. These Overlords in general, I would say, I'm going to say they're not quite as good as the original Titan Cycle, but I think this is as close as we've gotten to something like the original Titan Cycle that actually feels at least close to being on par with them. Usually when they do like, oh, new Titans, they're just so bad. What was the cycle that was supposed to be like the Titans? Oh no, I can't think of the name of them now. Well, let's Boiler Biggles. The one where it's like, pay 5 mana and exile me from the graveyard and I do something. Oh god, that cycle. There's a new Phyrexia one. I can't think of the actual title for them. I keep wanting to say Invasion, but they're not invasions. You know what I mean though, maybe. But yeah, usually when they make these cycles, they're so not good. Opponent Schwamps. Wow, gonna fire up the Restless Cottage. Going aggro. Nothing gonna exile, but this is kind of a good plan for our opponent, I think. This does hit us down to 8, which is not a lot of life. Not a lot of life. I'm kind of surprised I didn't Dread Knight or something, though. Opponent gonna get some food, do some exiling. Well, we probably... this is gonna be an interesting turn. Let's see what we draw. A Fly Trap. I think we just frill back. Get rid of this Innkeeper's Talent. It's just such a scary card. Well, Tranquil frill back, gain 4, blow up your Innkeeper's Talent, and do a little unimpending. I mean, we do have Overlords coming soon. Multiple Overlords about to come off impend. I guess exiling from the graveyard does make our fly traps worse. Opponent Restless Cottage, gonna go attacking. We might just chump. No Ghost Vacuum, no fun. Well, block the cottage. Stay at 12. I mean, we have these Overlords coming, so it's pretty tempting. Let's play a Hauntwoods, get a everywhere land. It's pretty tempting just to try to like keep our life total high, right? Because we know eventually we're gonna have these massive creatures that our opponent's gonna have to deal with. So I don't think we're actually gonna die to these Restless Cottages, assuming we just keep our life total high enough. I wouldn't mind getting down the Enduring Courage. Ooh, Vraska. All right. I mean, Vraska's good. Thankfully, no Innkeeper's Talent, or we'd just be dead. Relatively dead. about it. You gotta kill an Overlord, right? There's no way you draw. I mean, I guess if they draw, it would make us double attack Vraska. But then we still have 2 Overlords. They gotta just treasure an Overlord, I think. Yeah, opponent gets rid of a Hauntwoods. Well, first, let's kill Vraska. Get rid of that. I think we're in pretty good shape this game. Vraska down. Get an Everywhere land. I think we just get down the Enduring Courage and prepare for next turn, where these hasty fly traps might be kind of insane. Because we could, if we need to, we can sack the treasure to get an enchantment creature in the graveyard. Although we're still a type short. We need an instant or a sorcery. If we can turn on Delirium, these hasty fly traps are going to be really good. Otherwise, I guess we can just, I don't know, play Frillbacks or something. Plus, we got Boiler Biggles. Boiler Biggles online, finally. Bounty, Schwamp. Life flashing before our opponent's eyes, wondering where it all went wrong. Oh, no, not Terra Sunder. Okay, Terra Sunder is really good against us. I feel like that's a card that should see more play post Duskmourn. That's a card. Oh, okay, let's see what crazy bat choice we get this time. It's got to be the Courage, right? That's the only. Everything else is redundant. That's the only thing. They just killed an Enduring Courage, so we know they're scared of it. It's got to be. If it's not the Enduring Courage, I don't even know what's going on in life anymore. They take one of the 2 Frillbacks. Every one of our opponent's bat choices has just been so different to me. Our opponent might just be a next level batter. They might know something that no one else knows. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because we can just Boiler Biggles it anyway. Well, let's play the land and play the Enduring Courage Part 2. And there's no Delirium. See, now we're seeing the downside of these fly traps, which is they're so good with Delirium, but if you don't have Delirium, it's a literal 2-4. Well, let's get in with some Overlords. Thankfully, we don't really need the fly traps to be good at the moment because we got Overlords for days. Hit ya. Yeah, I guess we just pass. Like, find a way to deal with our board if you can. Otherwise, we're going to kill you. And if you do deal with our board, we can refuel. Wow, fires up the Restless Cottage. Maybe what our opponent's trying to set up with these attacks is just getting tokens to sack to the Fountain Ports. That would make some amount of sense. If they're trying to play it like a card advantage engine, maybe that's what they're doing. Because I've had some like random attacks with the cottage where I was like, But it's kind of paying off now that they have these food they can sack to draw cards, or had a food. Okay, tapping into play Mosswood Red Knight. Ooh, there's our Vacuum. Well, that was not the most mana efficient turn I've ever seen. We can sack the Ghost. Opponent says oops, yeah. We can sack the Ghost Vacuum? It's 6 mana. But if we sack the Ghost Vacuum, it turns on the Fly Trap. I think, though, do we just win here? We don't quite win, but it's actually, do we win? 6, 11, 12, oh, we easily win. Yeah, Boiler Biggles. Too good. Dread Knight, a little bit dead. And opponent, boom, 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 and no Ghost Vacuum necessary in this one. Actually, just kind of crush Golgari, and Golgari's a really good deck. Turns out, just playing Overlords, pretty powerful, even in 2024. Yeah, we're going to keep this. We don't have any big payoffs, but we have a bunch of ways. Oh, God. Well, we have our 1 Torch to the Tower. Also, thankful for no Leyline. Thankful that we're not literally dead yet on turn 2. So that's encouraging against the Heartfire Hero deck. Opponent land an Emberheart Challenger. I feel like this is a matchup where game 1 is going to be really rough. Game 1's going to be really rough, but I feel like there's a world where in games 2 and 3, theoretically, maybe we have enough sideboard cards to improve our shot. Bona gets in, hits us. Oh no, are they going in? Monstrous Rage. We can't really stop this. We can cash grab, but do they just spin into another Monstrous Rage? That's unfortunate. Wait, are we just... See, this is the thing. When I hear people say, oh, is the Leyline deck really that good? Is the Leyline deck really that good? I heard it was really inconsistent. It's like Tybalt's Trickery. It's a glass cannon deck. No. None of that is true. I don't know who you're hearing that from, but those words are not true. We decide on turn 3 with no Leyline, and that's the thing people miss about this deck, and miss about how good it is. That this was already a tier 1 deck before Leyline came out. Like, before rotation, before Leyline, Scamps and Heroes and Challengers and Swift Spears and a bunch of pump spells was already was already one of the best decks in the format. We're just going to bring in a ton of removal and run it like that. And Leyline just like threw it into overdrive. So if you don't have Leyline, whatever, you're just like a deck that was already tier from last standard. You're a deck that was already tier from last standard. So I feel like the idea that it's like a glass cannon combo deck, when people hear, oh, 20% of the time I win on turn 2, they assume that means you're losing the other 80% of the time. The 20% of the time you do this ridiculous combo kill sounds pretty good against the matchup. They assume that it's like, oh, 20% of the time you have this ridiculous combo kill, 80% of the time you lose. But it's really like 20% of the time you win on turn 2, 20% of the time you win on turn 3, 20% of the time you win on turn 4 or after, and 40% of the time you lose. So you're winning 60% of the time or whatever. Like, that's the actual math is something like that. Gets in, hits us with the Swift Spear. We're going to wait and kill that at sorcery speed. I feel like we don't have that much instant speed removal. Having Torch the Tower to kill a Heartfire hero or scamp at instant speed is going to be important. About it. More red mana and an Ember Heart Challenger. Well, now we have a quiet... Ooh, Brother Sedan. You know what? Let's just kill it. We're being super aggressive with our removal, but you saw what happened last game. Our opponent really only needs a single prowess creature to stick for us to die. Slick Shot Show Off. It's also possible that our opponent... Oh, Monstrous Rage. That's really bad. Now we need a... Yeah, now we can't Torch the Tower the Slick Shot. So we have to impend and take a lot of damage. And then we have to try to sack the Overlord to bargain Torch. Oh, another Slingshot Show Off. Oh, we might just be dead if they have a... Oh, turn inside out. Are we literally dead? That's 10. We're at 10. Yeah. No Leyline. No problem for our opponent. Our opponent, who knows? They could theoretically not even be running Leyline and still smacked us. All right, Can of Feet. Can of Feet? A can of feet? A cannet. I don't know what our opponent's username means, but opponent. Gonna start on a Restless Reef. Well, let's Verge and get down the Ghost Vacuum. I imagine Demir, probably not the best color for dealing with Ghost Vacuum. Thinking. And Island. And passes. All right. Well, let's play the Verge. Unfortunately, double Verges means we're kind of mono red at the moment. Means we're not casting a cash grab. Means we're not filling our graveyard. Means we're not activating Ghost Vacuum. Many bad things from the double Verge draw. How have the Verges felt for you so far? Opponent, swamp, and passing land. Okay, that actually works. Okay. At first I was sad because it was a mountain, but that turns on the Verges, so disaster avoided. I think we just pass and do a little cachet grabbing here. See if we can cachet our way into land number 4. And maybe some goodies in the graveyard. Ooh, Invasion of Amonkhet. Thank you, opponent. This is actually wonderful of you. Well, let's cash grab. 1, 2, 3. Wow, do we... All right, we'll take the Overlord. That's kind of awkward. Wow, no lands in the top 4. I mean, we can say its name to desperately dig for a land. Hopefully we just draw one. I guess we could also play the Overlord, but Overlord and when you miss your land drop is the worst. Yeah, Ghost Vacuum, if our opponent's actively trying to do reanimation shenanigans or Invasion of Amonkhet shenanigans, Ghost Vacuum might actually be good as a hate card this game. Oh, cash grab. I think we need to hit our land drop. Well, there's all of our lands. We'll take a mountain, play the mountain, and let's say its name to get a... Do we just take Cavern? Yeah, Cavern seems pretty good. Our opponent probably has counters, or at least could have counters. Pass the turn. I mean, this might be a good Ghost Vacuum game. This might be a good one. Wow, Jace, a Perfected Mind. Okay. Had to Phyrexian Man it, because our opponent's missing their land drop. Desperation, taking down to draw some cards, or draw a card, and do a little milling. Ooh, wow. All right. This Ghost Vacuum's going to be insane. Did our opponent find a land? It appears the answer is no. Well, let's Ghost Vacuum. And take a... So we have an Enduring Courage, right? Let's take the Boiler Biggles. So I believe Enduring Courage, what? 2 Boiler Biggles is lethal? Well, play the land. In theory, we can win with 3 cards on the Ghost Vacuum. But let's play this Overlord. Make sure we get 2/6 mana, uncounterably, thanks to our Cavern of Souls. I wonder... I wonder if we should exile to say its names as like a bluff. Do you think our opponent scoops if we just exile the 3 of them, even though we're going to fail to find? Because we don't have Altinic. All right, gonna kill our Overlord. I mean, I don't think they can kill the Ghost Vacuum, so I don't think we're in any, like, super big hurry. The way they could go wrong, so if we go for the combo kill, we get, what, 16 damage? 16 damage from the Boiler Biggles. But if our opponent kills one, yeah, let's just wait another turn. Like, we could probably win this turn. Let's play Cavern on Glimmer. But I just don't think our opponent can stop this. So we might as well kill the Jays. And I think we just try to set up for one of the best Ghost Vacuumings of all time. Let's play another Enduring Courage, or a Enduring Courage. We have one under the Ghost Vacuum. Our opponent has played this Invasion of Amonkhet and then has not played a creature. They have not really come close to defeating the battle. Shield, ooh, okay. They might be close to defeating the battle now. They could, if they go land Reckless Reef, they could. They could. Well, there's untap land. Oh, Hitasugu and Carry. Okay, that's what our opponent's doing. Well, I think we win the game now, though. I'm pretty sure we're just going to Ghost Vacuum them up. Found it. Hitasugu and Carry does a little brainstorming. Well, end of turn Ghost Vacuum. This is going to be a good one. Ghost Vacuum. We will take a Trumpeting Carnosaur, and now the real fun. Win another Ghost Vacuum too. Well, we will sack the Ghost Vacuum, and here comes the dorks. Enduring Courage, double Boiler Biggles, and a Trumpeting Carnosaur. So we want to kill our opponent without them getting the Hitasugu and Carry trigger. So we're not going to kill the Hitasugu and Carry. We're just going to go face. Ooh, wow. That is a fully powered fly trap too. Mega Delirium. They should have just named it Mega Delirium. Just for the memes. Just for the memes. Hit you down to 14, hit you down to 10, and here comes the crew and fly trap triggers. Double them up, double them up. Boiler Biggles your face, Boiler Biggles your face. Bout it to 2, and that was the best Ghost Vacuum we've had yet. Wow, that was like 50 damage. That was like a 50 damage Ghost Vacuum. On what, turn 5, 6? No, not 5, 6? I think it was turn 6. That is a power Ghost Vacuum. Why do people not play this card more? Even if you don't want to build around it, at least play it in your sideboard. I feel like this should be, like, the unlicensed hearse of this format, basically. Like, the go-to graveyard hate spell. Plus, you have the option to build around it like we have, so... Good old Can of Feet with their Demir deck. This hand's fine. A little removal, a little graveyard filling, no Ghost Vacuum, sadly, but... Well, Thornspire Verge, go. Hell, there's a Ghost Vacuum. We might wait a turn, though. I think we wait and Cash Grab. And then next turn we can hopefully get down the Ghost Vacuum. Opponent, Invasion of Amonkhet. Well, Cash Grab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab the... Throwback doesn't get rid of battles anyway. Yeah, I think we just take the Verge. Battles feel like enchantments, but technically no. You know what? We're going to score the Boiler Biggles. We're going to go in on this Ghost Vacuum plan again. It worked last time. Let's play the Verge. Say its name. Say its name. Say its name. Into a... Do we want to land or do we want a Overlord of the Hauntwoods? Cavern does have value, right? Just having a land to make our stuff uncounterable is nice. Yeah, let's take the Cavern. Play the Ghost Vacuum. Pass the dirt. Whew, Jace. Still paying Phyrexia mana. Why are they leaving the swamp up? Interesting. Well, opponent's going to Jace us. Mill. Sure. That is just making our deck more powerful, opponent. We appreciate you helping power up our deck. Well, let's take the Enduring Courage. That is kind of combo piece number 1. Like, the haste is really essential. If we just make a bunch of 1/1s, it's kind of meh. But we make a bunch of hasty 2/3s or 3/1s. I guess we just play the land and get down the fly trap. We do not have Mega Delirium, but we have normal Delirium. and pass the turn. When Flytrap's a 4/6 for 3, it's already above the curve, and you get the upside of moving the counters around. I know when I first saw it, I was like, I feel like this is one of the worst cards in the deck, or in the set. I thought it was one of the worst rares in the set, but I don't think it's actually that bad. It's actually, if you can consistently turn on Delirium, it's actually kind of an insane card. They don't really make bad cards anymore. Opponent's gonna Gix's Command. All right, well, that's fine. 5 mana to kill a Flytrap ain't no thing, especially since we got this this Ghost Vacuum, which is actually getting kind of close to just killing our opponent. Like, we're actually not that far away. We have 6 mana next turn. Found it. Land. And passing. Well, that's we do need to be aware of Tishana's Tidebinder. That could be an answer to this that is theoretically possible. I don't think we need to go for it yet. I think we can wait. Like, this is another one. 2 Boiler Biggles with haste. In theory, represents lethal. But our opponent's got a lot of mana up. So in practice, them having removal seems likely. So let's just get down the Hauntwoods, do a little ramping. If our opponent ever taps down for something, then I think we just Ghost Vacuum, combo kill opponent. Just cheaty lands, back up to 20, opponent. Now we might not have enough damage. 2 Boiler Biggles with haste is what? 22? Gix's wow. These have been some not great Gix's commands. 5 mana kill a single thing. Well, I mean, I think this should be good. Let's snag let's take the Flytrap. And there's a land. And I mean, I think we just go, well, do we go for it? Yeah. I mean, this should be enough, right? The thing is, they're not stopping it. But yeah, let's just do it. I think this should just be lethal. There's some argument to just keep waiting to try to make the biggest Ghost Vacuum of all time, but opponent's got 1 mana up. We got lethal. Grow the Dorks. Haste in the crew. Biggles ya. So that's 8. Everything gets haste. Everything gets +2/+0. And that should just, even through a removal spell, that's just game, right? So I guess if they kill a Boiler Biggles, does that stop us? That would prevent 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Yeah, if they can kill a Boiler Biggles, they gotta... Oh, no! Oh, opponent! That's not how triggers work. That is not how triggers work. All right, opponent kills Enduring Courage, which is literally the card that saves them the least amount of damage. I assume that our opponent was hoping that was going to fizzle the haste, but that is not how this works. And Boiler Biggles you and smash you, and we had more than enough damage, and that is the power of Ghost Vacuum. I'm telling you. Try vacuuming up some ghosts. It's actually super fun, and the combo kills are super sweet. Well, yeah. That's Ghost Vacuum. We'll talk about it in the wrap up. So what do we learn this week about Ghost Vacuum combo for Standard? And overall, we went 11-7 with the deck, so a 61% match win percentage over a pretty big sample size, which means the deck actually worked pretty well. And I guess that makes sense, right? We get some pretty powerful cards. Overlords are just really strong cards. We can find them with the cash grabs and the say its names. More importantly, though, we got to see some super sweet Ghost Vacuum kills. And one of the reasons this deck kind of works is our current Standard format very, very good at dealing with enchantments. Everyone's prepared for enchantments because of Caretaker's talent and Innkeeper's talent and all the Overlords and so forth. People, though, not nearly as prepared for artifacts, so the ability to stick a Ghost Vacuum and have it stay out for enough turns to win the game, actually pretty realistic. And then we got to see time and time again, it is pretty easy to set up that Enduring Courage, Boiler Biggles, Trumpeting Carnosaur, like just this big stack of 4 or 5 creatures under Ghost Vacuum. And even though it looks like they're just going to be these harmless 1/1s, because of how we build our deck and because of the Enduring Courage and because of the Overlords, we actually just activate Ghost Vacuum and win the game on the spot. And it was really funny to see opponents just not be able to deal with this card. We would play this on turn 1 and just like spend the rest of the game playing normal Magic, and then eventually on turn 6 or 7 we just like Ghost Vacuum and the game ends on the spot out of the blue. So we kind of, another deck that kind of gets to play like a mid-rangey fair deck, but then we also have this weird combo kill free win thing built in, which I think is a pretty powerful place to be. Also, shout out to Omnivorous Flytrap. And On one hand, during spoiler season, I kind of trashed this card. I thought it was one of the weakest cards in the set because if you don't have Delirium, it's really bad, right? It's just a 3-mana 2/4, and we did see that sometimes. We did have some games where we had like multiple fly traps in hand and just didn't even want to cast them because a 3-mana 2/4 feels so bad. On the other hand, we also got to see games where fly trap was a legit game ender. Like, this coming down with haste with Enduring Courage is so incredibly strong with Delirium, and especially with 6 card types with Mega Delirium, where this just comes down and by surprise out of the blue we're hitting for like 15-20 damage because all the counters and the doubling of the counters. So the card, yeah, it's still a little bit hit or miss. There still are times, like if our graveyard gets shut down, it is the worst card in our deck, not even close. It's so incredibly bad, but its ceiling is actually really, really high, and it works really well with the combo. So I think, at least in this deck, I was pretty impressed with the fly trap, even though we did have some kind of clunky games. But all in all, I think Ghost Vacuum is kind of an insane card. I think it might be kind of a sleeper because people just think of it as like a relic of Progenitus or another one of these cheap graveyard haze spells. And while it does do that, it does so much more. And as we saw with this deck, there's actually legit game-ending combo potential. So play more Ghost Vacuums because the card's really sweet and it's actually really good. So anyway, everyone, that's been Ghost Vacuum Combo. That's been our Gets Odds for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.